difference here. As long as you mentioned Coach Tyree and how good of friends they were, I have to share a story that happened in the last month or two. I just confirmed. I met a guy that was in my class, 71, at a coffee shop, and he told me a story about how, campus rules, I guess, change over the years. And when we were there, it was a closed campus. You weren't allowed to leave at all unless you had some sort of a letter from the principal or something. And this kid, this guy I met, Peter Beatty, had taken off, and he turned around, and there was this guy chasing him. And he's running away, trying to get away from school. And after about a mile, Coach Ty runs him down. And that was 40 years ago. Nobody was going to outrun Coach Ty. But they made a deal that he wouldn't turn him into the dean's office if he came out for cross country. So he was on the team for a while. But I'll tell you what, in the we were talking about the election process, I wanted everybody then to know, and for all of you to know now that maybe didn't have anybody around or weren't around, what a special time in basketball Willowbrook was for those years that Coach Stoner coached here. And it was really all because of him. He wanted his players to be the best players, the best citizens, the best student, the best sons and brothers. I mean, the guy was just a real quality guy. And he made you want to play better. He really wanted you to be the best kind of person you could be. And I thought about a book that he gave us. And I thought it was about defense because we spent 80% of our time playing defense. Like, the ball is here, your guy's here, where you go. And it was about Bill Bradley, actually, and the name of it was A Sense of Where You Are. And I just got it 2 days ago from Amazon. And so I was scanning through it, trying to figure out all this stuff about how it applies. And basically, it's a book about how to be a better person, a sense of who you are. And I thought, boy, that doesn't make sense. I mean, he was such a great coach along those lines. And it was magical. I'll tell you, wasn't that just that we won all those games, but it was an event. You'd come and people would be 3 deep up in the balcony among, be the south ends or the south basket. Stands all the way open, totally packed. And he created an atmosphere that it was an event. We beat teams we shouldn't have been beating. And in 1970, we beat Proviso in a double overtime game, which was a little tough to see with people standing up when it was 72-73. And we went on to have such a great year. We lost 2 games to Lyons Township, who were 31-0, and we lost to them in the super sectional, and we couldn't get out of state. We couldn't get past them. And I think we only lost by 10, and every other team that they played downstate was a 20, 30-point victory. So he was quite a coach, and he knew how to relate, along with how good he was in college and what a player he was. A lot of times coaches, they don't really know how to translate. I had a coach who was in the NFL Hall of Fame, Jack Pardee, and I went up to him once. I was getting clocked on these trap plays, and I said, Coach, how do you read this? How do you get a feel for what the deal is? What am I looking for? And Jack just stammered. He didn't have a way with words. So that part of coaching really didn't work for him. But he said, well, you just got to kind of feel it. Well, that doesn't really help you until you physically are getting smoked and you figure it out. But Coach Stoner, since he played it, he physically could go ahead and show you. And he was just a great coach. Like Murph said, he went to U of I for 1 year. And it happened to be for Harv Schmidt, that was the end of his career at Illinois when he got fired. And then Coach went on to Pekin. Coach Stoner did and had a great career at Pekin. And then his son, who was going to be here tonight, and read some words from him. He couldn't make it. He's a principal at a school down in Peoria, and he had an urgent meeting. But I really think that if Coach Stoner, instead of Harv Schmidt, if he at that time would have coached under somebody like, let's say, Coach K or somebody like that, I'm sure he would have gone on to a huge collegiate illustrious career, more than likely. So with that, I'd like to read what the coach has conveyed as far as his appreciation and acceptance. Coach Stoner says, it would be impossible to describe in a few words all the wonderful blessings I received from my time at Willowbrook. I've thought on many occasions that it would be great if the Lord would just tap us on the shoulder during the special times in our lives and say, hey, bud, pay attention. You're not going to pass through here again, and what is happening to you is a blessing unparalleled in your life. That is today how I feel about my time at Willowbrook. I know that it is not his job, capital H his job, but it is how I feel about my time at Willowbrook. I realize now that what makes Willowbrook so great is the people. I learned so much there from the administration, co-workers, and students, especially my players and managers. So as I write this, disappointed knowing I am not going to be at this occasion, I wish all in attendance to know how humbled I am for this honor and thankful to all those who worked to make this happen. Always a warrior, Coach Marshall Stoner.